celebration anniversary show. And this guy is by far and away one of our favourites. He's making a triumphant return to the comedy scene, and it's an absolute pleasure to have him here with us. People at the front table, you're doing such an excellent job of it already. So can we have a ripple of applause in the back, please? Bring it forward. And some whooping and some hollering. Ladies and gentlemen, for Anonymous the Poet.
I'm going to let sit this tambourine down, but don't let me forget I brought it, okay? Firstly, I suppose I should explain why Neil calls me Anonymous the Poet. I come from the city of Glasgow. There are a lot of very attractive women at the art school. I have no real talent. So I said I was a poet. Because let's face it, all they do is make things rhyme. Some of the fuckers can't even manage that. How hard can it be? I've only ever written one poem. Do you want to hear it?
Yes!
This poem is entitled Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay, I stole the title, I'm ashamed. This is the poem. Mary had a little lamb, potato, carrots, a few peas. That being said, the other thought that's going through my head is that being here tonight with Rob and Neil and that, it makes me feel incredibly old. I am amazingly old. I am so old I can remember hope. If I could choose a superpower, it would be getting to the toilet on time. Ask me why I brought the tambourine. Because I want to talk about Annie Lennox. In the hope that talking about Annie Lennox is not going to cause any offence to the victims of 9/11 or indeed the families of the victims of 9/11. Fuck it, the pets of the families, of the parked cars of... Right, okay, I just don't want to cause offence. So before I start this section, what I'd like to do is my own personal tribute to New York. I do it with tambourine. And the reason for that is that because I was actually born on what the Americans like to call 9/11 and I like to call my birthday. and the reason why that relates to Annie Lennox is because Annie Lennox was born on Christmas. And the other day I was talking to a mate on the phone and it came up that Annie Lennox was born, and he said, "You must feel a lot like her, having been born on an iconic day." Well, people, I feel no kinship with Annie Lennox. People who were born on Christmas Day are just a miserable bunch of cunts who cannot bear to share their day with the baby Jesus. My birthday has been attacked by terrorists and invaded by America. It's a whole other thing. You know, but Annie Lennox and the Christmas babies, they fuckers get a present. I don't get a present. I get, oh, we didn't get you a present per se. But during the 2-minute silence, we thought of you. So we sang happy birthday. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is that I was here last year. And I was such a happy guy. I was at the bar there. Right? And I was thinking Christmas and, you know, trees and bells and you know, the baby Jesus and Mary and the Virgin Birth. And what I was thinking was, is that fucking likely? I mean, let's look at the science. It was an earlier time, a simpler time. Men did not know so much about what we now, with the development of science and a technical vocabulary, would call ladies' gubbins. Is it not much more likely that they checked the wrong door? Now, I can see that the Pope doesn't want to come with me on this. You know, he's moving, but he has not moved that far. And I can see why, because it does move the Catholic Church from the iconic position of Mary, the Virgin Mother, to the somewhat more workaday Mary, she never took it up the arse. And the next thing I want to talk to you about, and because it is the thing that brings us all together, isn't it, Neil? It's the thing that does it all for us. And it's comedy, that's what brought us all together. And what I wanted to say about comedy was that it's getting harder. You know what I mean? Following Ross and Brand and all that nonsense. Comedians are having to be very careful what they say. We're having to be very cautious with colour. Very, very careful with religion. You know what I mean? Comedians are having to be cleverer, more intelligent, more creative. Delighted to announce tonight, good people of the juice, I will not be going that way. What I've decided to do is search out minorities not as yet covered by present legislation. And to that end I offer you men who wear wigs. You can say whatever the fuck you like about them. You can say, men who wear wigs, them got rhythm. You can say, chaps who hang out in toupees, probably buggering each other up the arse as we speak. You can gas these fuckers. Nobody calling the police. If they did, police probably wouldn't come. If they did come, good chance they'd put their art collection in protective custody. But even if it was all to go wrong, even if you were to end up in front of a judge, you would have the opportunity to say, my lord, it's not like he's an ethnic minority. It's not as if he's a woman and there may be some sort of role play advantage. This twat chose to carpet his head. This arsehole went out on a cold morning and walked the roads of the countryside till he found a piece of roadkill and stuck his head up his arse. And I think I've solved the whole problem here for myself and comedy. All we need now, right, is a root pronoun by which we can call them, and we're made in the shade. So I'm thinking, men that dig, diggers. Men that wig, W word. Don't tell the BBC I said wiggers. Oh, see, I don't want you to think I'm not a moral man. I'm a semi-vegetarian. I'll kill an animal, but I won't eat it. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about, actually I talked to you about it just the other day, but we're going to talk about it again anyway, because I do get, actually, fuck it, I'm going to go for the other conspiracy theory. I was going to go for the Kennedy conspiracy theory, but I've recently came to the conclusion that there was no conspiracy, Kennedy killed himself. What I'd like to talk to you about instead is the Rod Hall massacre. Does everybody know who Rod Hall was? Yeah. Right. You know his pal? Emu. You know how he died? He went out on his roof in a storm and tried to fix his TV aerial. He ended up dead. You see, and this is where I'm saying you conspiracy, because the authorities, they investigated that. They studied it. They said, no suspicious circumstances. Death by misadventure. Well, death by misadventure, perhaps that is fair. To have taken Emu on the roof with him was at best foolhardy. Give me a minute, we're getting there. It was never a smooth relationship. Rod was heard to say that sex with Emu was a bit like having a wank with a glove on. His wife always denied the 3 in the bedroom. Right? No suspicious circumstances, they said. Do I need to tell you that Emu has never been seen in public? from that day. That was so much more fun than Nicky. It just was. Right, I got a wee announcement to make because it's the end of the year and I've been having these thoughts and I've made a decision. I'm going to give up comedy. No, it's a happy thing. It's a good thing. I'm going to get rich. And I'll tell you why. You know edible panties?
Yeah.
I'm going to make them. Chip flavoured. It's genius. You get the experience of the whole meal. That's all I've got for you tonight. Everybody have a Merry Christmas. Bye bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anonymous Boris. Superb. Such a pleasure having back on the circuit. Okay, we're going to bring one more act to you before we go for a break. So, round of applause from somewhere in the middle of the room would be great.